so we're over to Ronald then. Now, we were very lucky to have Ronald do some training for us a week ago or so, and it was so awesome, and everybody loved it so much. So, you know, that's why he's here, because he's just so good. Ronald, I'm going to get you to tell me what you do, because you said earlier on that we associate you with LinkedIn, but it goes so much deeper. So what can you tell us?
Okay, so I think I was being a touch cheeky. I'm very well known for doing my LinkedIn training. Like, that's what a lot of people know me for. I do, in fact, I'm a digital marketing consultant, so I help people really understand digital marketing and how they can move forward and get the best out of their digital marketing for their business, right? So I'm very, very specific when it comes to who a person is, what do they do, who's their target market, and not just giving them a digital marketing solution that covers all bases that a person thinks they should cover, but rather focus on where your customers are and what's right for your business so that it's sustainable and it's effective. So I help people with digital marketing. A lot of social media, I help people with a lot of social media where I either do it for them, I will teach them how to do it, or I consult to them on a monthly basis, and I basically guide them while they're doing it for themselves.
Ronald, what would you say with regard to small businesses? What is the most common mistake that we as small business owners make when it comes to marketing?
Lack of planning. That's the biggest thing. I think so many people are so keen to just get into it, and then they hear somebody says, "Oh, you should be on Instagram," because that's the thing. But in actual fact, if they'd done a bit of planning, they would have realized that their target market may not be on Instagram. And then what also happens, what tends to happen, is people would, get into it and make a big splash, but because they haven't done their planning, they run into a few headaches in a month's time, let's say. They get busy in their business, and then everything dies because they haven't planned on how they're going to make it sustainable. If you're spending a day on your marketing, like Marty was saying, you need time to operate your business. So it all boils down to planning, knowing what you're going to do, how sustainable it is, what platforms, what do who are you speaking to, your marketing message, and even deeper. I've also realized that a lot of people don't think about their products and service they want to sell on social media. You can't speak about everything you do. And maybe that's why people know me as the LinkedIn guy, because I identified that it was easier for me to get into a company through LinkedIn training instead of competing against every other digital marketing person out there. So I end up doing a lot of other stuff for people, but I get in because I identified the need for LinkedIn training.
Ronald, is this going to be something you will be covering in your upcoming webinars that you're doing for us? The 2-day one do you go into the actual planning and how we do that?
Yes, I do. So during that training that I'm going to be doing, I'll be going through quite a bit, actually. It's only 3 hours, but in 3 hours, we do cover quite a lot. So we cover, how to understand your target audience, like what are their pains, who are they, what are their titles? So like, are you aiming for CEOs and things like that? I go through the normal navigation of LinkedIn, because once you understand the navigation, it becomes a lot easier and quicker to use. But then I also do touch on planning. How do you plan your content so that it's educational and also helpful in a way that it's entertaining? Let's say, people want to read certain things, and even if it's educational, people don't want to read certain things. So you really have to plan. And yes, so I go through that briefly, but I go through it, yeah.
And Ronald, when it comes to curating content, I know for many of us that is a huge problem because it's far more time consuming than most people think it is. Do you have just a quick tip for our small business owners about curating content?
Yeah, Well, the thing is, I don't think a lot of business owners know the term curating content. A lot of people would rather think of creating content. Now, creating content for social media takes a lot of time, a lot of planning and effort. So, in some cases, if people are good at it, then it's easy for them to do. But in most cases, that's a big job, right, to create content. So I advise people to do what you've just mentioned, which is curate content, which is pretty much finding other people's content and using that where it's applicable and in the right way. So you're not stealing other people's content. You might find a blog that somebody else has done. Let's say John, he's in finance. He might find something that was on MoneyWeb, which is just a normal like news website, right? But they might post something with 5 steps on how to plan your retirement. If John shares that, so he would essentially still be guiding people to that website to get that helpful information. But he's the one that shared that expertise, and it helps his clients understand that he's the expert, he's the go-to point for all of that kind of information. So that's the idea, yeah. Yeah, sorry, I came in like a little bit late there, but I was just thinking, I was doing something for a client this morning as well, and it came across to me that the situation we sit in right now as a country, we need our small businesses to thrive. So I think initiatives like this are so important. And although my business is relatively new, I've been in business for quite a while, and so I've knocked my head a number of times. And I wish that I had access when I was younger to things like this, to networks. I didn't actually know how to network when I was younger. I think it's so important. And yeah, so I want to congratulate you guys. I think what you're doing is really a good idea.